All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Inside the Sidelines, Coach DJ Jennings. I have on the show today one of the renowned coaches who got me into coaching, Mr. Leroy Barnwell. Coach Leroy Barnwell, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Coach. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. And also a former commissioner, coaching young kids, even got a young man playing college football right now. Coach Amp Perry, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. Doing good. Doing good.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's go and get started, man. How y'all gentlemen feeling today, man? Let's talk about our young men and how we preparing them for the next level. Because we got a lot of kids that come out and play with us every year. And in some instances, they don't go and get outside training. So when they come to us in the fall, they expect us to make them hero, champion. How you feel about that, Coach Barnwell?
I think the first thing is we try is to connect with the parents, because the parents have to understand that they have to have a level of commitment for the kids to be successful. I think all three of us can agree to that. I also believe that we use the sport of football as a tool to prepare these young men for life at an early age, and just be assistance to the parents through a game, whether they continue in football, which both of y'all know, half of the kids that we start out with, when they get to high school, they don't even play football, right? So you show all of them the love, but you give them the tools to be successful through a sport to prepare them for life. And I think that's critical as leaders, that they see us and our backgrounds and what we bring to the table with our wisdom and knowledge as a metaphor, using the game we enjoy, teaching teamwork, how to stand up for yourself, but also through that sport, how to prepare them to be successful in the classroom, how to have manners and respect, for not only for elders, but for yourself and your peers, especially in today's time when these kids are so trigger happy.
Coach Perry?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Coach Barnwell more. Yeah, it starts in the home with the parents. We as coaches can only do so much. We got to. I guess let me back up a minute. I guess we got children having children, even with the fathers, and it goes back. The fathers that we putting these kids out now, they're trigger happy. So in our day and time, when the kids came out, whatever the coaches said, that's what it was. So it's a tall order to be out on that coaching field now and attempting to keep these kids' attention. It's difficult. It's just so many distractions out there. So I mean, Coach Barnwell pretty much put it all in a nutshell. It's all the above. So it's hard. I can. Man, he said enough. He said it all.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of times, man, and it's just like anybody else, just like we want more for our kids, but at the same time, they gotta want it too, And a lot of times, parents will try to play through the kids, and they may not have been able to do what they thought they should have done, so they'll push their kid to a limit, and if they don't get it, then it's the coach's fault. This is why my son not progressing, so I moved my kid to another program. And then they realize when they get to that other program that, hey, I got 10 number Jimmys over here. Now he Jimmy number 11. Everybody good over there. So now he got to pick his part. You got to pretty much pick your own poison. But yeah, it is what it is, man. That's a lot. That's the side that we living in today, man. And we as coaches, they're still out there coaching, have to deal with that. But at the same time, it's a good thing. I mean, we deal with it and we move forward. Now, coach Barnwell, let's talk about philosophy as far as training young men when they first come to you, and whether they have football experience, whether they don't. What are some of the things that you do to get a kid that's really not there yet, get them ready as far as game
Coach,
day, as far as prepping them, as far as teaching?
Coach, that's a good question, and I think that's one of the questions that for all youth coaches out here that they should really focus on that aspect of that question prior to going out there coaching and putting a philosophy together, a mentality. My first thing is football is a contact sport. It's not basketball. It's not baseball. It's not soccer in a sense. So you got you. I'm gonna touch on first what you said. I'm gonna take an inexperienced kid, incorporating that kid into a bunch of seasoned kids, right? And say you got another some kids half and half. Or first thing I want to do is gain that young man confidence to love a sport that we love so much. And one of the things I do is I take it slow with the kid. I match up talent with talent. So I'm not going to take my first year player and put him against a player that's been playing 4 or 5 years, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, as I go through the progression, is just to build up his confidence, not stress the kid, and get them to fall in love with the game. Along with that, simultaneously, is something you touched on the last part of your conversation. I have to talk to the dads, if they're present, and the mom, to get them to understand, listen, this is your child first year playing. There's kids out there that's been playing. It's a progression. Is less than 1% of kids that come out their first year that I call God gifted talent that just excel. It don't work like that. So what I tell them is, listen, be patient. I promise you, the way your kids started out this year at the beginning of the season won't be the same kid at the end of the season, because what you don't want to do, shit. If I'm running into somebody 100 miles an hour that's running to me and I ain't never been hit, man, I ain't gonna want to play this game. This physical. This physical, right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
so you take it slow, you boost the kid up, the confidence. And what happens, and that's what I love about football so much. Even the kids that are seasoned understand, hey, they're gonna take it slow, help the kid, help each other as you build through the tutelage of the coach, right? And their philosophy and strategy to bring the team together and be like, hey, when we hit, this is what we're gonna do. When we do drills, this is what we're doing. So at all times, I'm gonna protect that kid because that kid is under my tutelage out there for them 2 hours or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, the goal is, and DJ, you heard me say this, Perry. I don't know how much he'll tell you. I never talk about winning and to these kids. Now, us as adults, I talk to y'all like, yeah,
Yeah,
when I see
that's
y'all
right.
on the
That's right.
field, we gonna
That's
get
the,
it.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. But it's more still with protecting the kid, man, because so many kids, and it hurts my heart. It breaks my heart. These coaches are so vetted on just coaching to the players that they think are their strength, not understanding that
Mm-hmm.
as a true coach, your goal is to take that kid, because you never know when that kid light bulb, that aha moment come on, them kids turn into, by the end, sometimes turn into dogs like you never seen. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the other thing that I like to do, right, and parents don't understand this, and I tell them, I said, well, you keep watching your kid play, just keep your kid in the game. Uh, I always take my kids that are new. and I start them off on the line. And a lot of people say, well, are they too small or this? And I said, no, you got to think of it like this. If I stand a kid up that's not ready and I'm playing them, that gives him more opportunity to get ran over, to get thrashed.
Right.
But in the line of scrimmage, it ain't but a couple of inches right there. It ain't
Mhm.
too much gonna get done. But guess what happened? Them pads popping, they tapping, and the more they get tapped, the more they realize, oh, it's not that hard. So I'm not gonna take a kid first year. I don't care. I don't care how fast he is, how big he is, how small he is. I'm not gonna stand that kid up and leave that kid on the island. I'm gonna start that kid in the trenches where they get used to the contact, and it's minimum that they're going to get really crushed because in youth football, not until you get into the I'll say Pee Wee, really, junior Pee Wee and below, kids not really firing off the ball like that. It's more of a like tap because they really focused on what we teaching them how to seal a block or open the hole. And that's my thing, Coach Jennings, and Coach Perry. I really protect those kids because I want them to love this game and fall in love with the game and learn before they just quit.
Okay. Coach Perry, you got anything to add?
I'm right on that same line with Coach Bonwell. Some of the things that I used to use, I would take my veteran, that dog per se in that group, and I would put him with that new kid and his job, and that's a twofold. That gives that dog or that seasoned guy a chance to be that leader, and with that, he's sort of that guy's protector, and you showing this guy, and you making sure, and you learning. Hey, you were here one time. You knew what it was like to be the new kid on the block, to get that first 100 mile per hour lick, the understanding, just the basics of understanding how to do the drill. And Coach Barnwell, we as coaches, we have to look the other way when you're trying to explain a drill to a guy and it just seems like it's not getting there. You know what I mean? Just a 3 point
Yes, sir.
stand, how complicated that seems, and not firing off the ball. But kids learn from kids. And so, what some of the things I would do, I would take my guys that's a seasoned experience, and I put him with that kid, and I pair him with that, and he bring up a good point. You put him on the line, and that may not be his position, but you put him in there where there is some contact, but you're not getting that. They're not ready for that season back, turning that corner, running probably about 60 miles an hour to get trampled, and then you don't see the mama don't bring him back. But at least he in there, and he feel like he's accomplished anything, and it's pretty much what Coach Barnwell said. So it's a few different techniques, and like I say, you got to get the parents to step up, and you got to explain to the mother and the father, and you got the dads out there that want their son to be the quarterback. That's not how it works. It start with your fundamentals, and you got to put in work at home.
Yeah.
You got to put some work in at home. You got to play it through your mind and stuff like that. So it's a slow process. And Coach Bond will touch on it. We call them what's the key word? Phenoms. That one in every so often you get that kid come through there. Everything he touches is touchdown. You don't get them that often. Most kids have to be developed. They don't come that often. If they came as often as people thought, or much as parents thought they did, then there would be no need for coaches. All right. If we had that guy that's doing it that often, we need coaches. Just get them, put them on the field, and let them go. So it takes a lot of the time. And so, with that being said, I think it's just each kid gonna be different, and it's a case by case thing. Some will pick it up a little quicker. Then some of them will be late bloomers. I've had kids when I had my association, they come out that tiny mite. That tiny mite and junior pee wee, a tiny mite, mighty mite. Don't see him for a year. Come out junior pee wee and come out pee wee and missed everything. So it's just when that light comes on, come at a different time. So you just play it case by case.
Well, that it has happened and it continues to happen. Even when me and Coach Barnwell coached together, we was at Polo Road. We had a lot of kids. That first year, they pretty much gave him everybody that was inexperienced. But he took them and molded them, and
Mm-hmm.
If y'all don't know the story, I'm gonna tell the story. Originally, when I first met this man, I was supposed to go there and beat this man up.
Beat him up.
Yeah, I was supposed to go over there and see this man because this man had been wrong my son and was dogging him, and he was doing all this stuff, and that's what I was told now. But when I got over there, I watched the practice, and it was some dads like myself standing on the sideline. We looking at it, and he had offensive line, defensive line, walking up and down the middle, talking to the kids. Now the other teams out there was throwing the ball around, and they was doing all this greatness, and everybody said, "Man, why we ain't doing that? Why we ain't doing that? Why we ain't doing that?" And I didn't say anything, so I waited till the end of practice, and I went introduced myself, told him who I was, and he said, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I seen he had a little wife beat on. He was out there with a little wife beat on, and he had that eagle lobe and anchor on his arm. I said, "What you know about that?" He said, "What you mean?" Well, I'm Marine too. I said, and after that, we talked, and that was it. It was a misunderstanding. And the misunderstanding was, look, I train my team the way I train my team, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it because this is how we going to win. And from that day to this one, we run a hell of a lot more than we ever lost. And every season we had a good time. So I mean, a lot of times, man, you can't listen to the parents because the parents will tell you one thing because they don't understand. But when you understand what's going on, it's a reason for everything. You can't be in it for a season. You got to be in it for a reason. Coaches that's on this call today was in it when they was in it for a reason. Whether it was your child, whether it was you stayed around because you enjoyed doing what you're doing, or whether you want to see the best happen for the kids. And it was always about the kids, never about an individual. It was about the kids. So moving on to the next subject.
Hold
I
on,
got something to add to that.
yeah, I
I
wanted to
think
add
I,
something to what you had to say too.
I think if Coach Barnwell if he had to say that now, he gonna have to fight his way out with these young coaches now, with these young dads now. They men can't take that now. These young men would be able to take. This is my team. I'm running the way I run it. Ain't nobody paying me nothing. I'm out here for the good of the kids. He gonna have to fight his way out.
And I
I'm
believe
just saying,
I
and
believe that.
I'm just that's just the way it is now. That's what I
Yeah.
believe.
I mean,
Yeah, I believe that, Perry, man. I think and that's why I took a step back, and I still study the game and still prepare myself to still coach at the high school level or college level. But I want to add to that story that Jennings just told. So his son was a first year player, but his son Darian was more advanced than a lot of the kids that were new. And Darian thought that was a social hour. But because, and this goes back to knowing the players and getting the feel, but because I know he cared, one of the things I would do when he would start cutting up, I would just tell him, hey, go sit on the sideline. And that burned him up. He couldn't stand it,
that's
right? So then you got, as we call Moms of America, take it, and they took it back to Coach Jennings, right? And Coach Jennings came out, and I told Coach Jennings, I said, man, let me tell you something. Your son is very gifted. Man, he picks up on stuff. He's very smart from the neck up to be 6 years old. To be six from the neck up, he was a fast learner. He caught it, but he liked to talk too. And the other kids, some other kids, they didn't pick up that fast, right? So instead of me running him or doing that, one of my techniques that I use is like, okay, I'm gonna see if my assumptions are wrong. Hey, go sit on the sideline, man. You can't stop talking. We're not about to do this. I'll bring you back in when we come back after the break. And one day he started crying. So I guess that triggered mom to tell dad. And I told him, and to this day, Coach Jennings would tell you, man, that's like my dude, right?
yeah.
Uh, but after we got past that, man, the kid flourished. And it's just like you said, Perry. I probably would have had to go at it, and then it's crazy because I've seen it and it's scary that coaches give their time and they out here running from bullets because you got these young parents out here shooting, bro, and you giving your time to their kid, right?
Yeah.
And they get in their emotions like, look, man, these are just kids, bro. If you stay with this long enough, you'll understand. 9 out of 10 times, the kids that had their hands in the dirt, as they grow, they're gonna be the ones standing up. The
Mm-hmm.
ones that standing up, bro, a lot of them is not even gonna play when they get to high school.
Middle school. They can't even make it
Yeah,
that far. I mean,
Right.
you're right, Perry.
in
And
middle school.
you're right, you're 100%. And that was the thing where, especially what Perry just said, how as men, we was able to come together and not only come together, but we're brothers just from another mother, man. And that's the other thing about youth sports that I love, man. You meet people that you endear to through life, man. You meet lifelong friendships. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and to see the kids and this and Perry, I know you've seen it. You go through it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Coach Jennings, I said, hey man, you know the greatest thing about coaching, and he'll tell you, I said this verbatim. I said, man, I don't really care about what goes on right now. I said, you know when it really matters and when it break you down and tears come in your eyes. I said, man, when these kids long gone from the game and you out walking down the street somewhere in the store and a kid just run up to you, eyes bright,
Yes, sir.
hey coach,
It happens
man,
That's it.
that
every time.
Said
I'm
that.
telling you, man.
I just said that. Hey, but Barnwell, let me cut you off a minute.
yeah,
So I don't know if you know the story after Jens got out there, after y'all disbanded, I come over here every day and beg him to come coach for me, right?
yeah,
But I guess it would have been a change for Jennings, and he's like, I don't really want to deal with the parents. And what I told you, Jennings, I say, you don't have to worry about the parents. Let me worry about the parents. But I knew he would be good, and my demographics was different. My
right,
demographics was
right,
white. They were heavily
right,
white.
right,
But I knew them. But I said, and we were moving to something totally different. I said, don't worry about the parents. I'll take care of the parents because I've been there and I know parents could come in and try to manipulate. And he didn't. He was in a good safe place. He got out of it. Y'all been through what y'all been through. You enjoying life. I don't want to get back in the headache. And then the other part was I wanted Jennings to be the head coach, and we had coaches. I said, Jennings, ain't nobody over there want to be no head coach. They all talk that talk, but they nobody want to be no head coach because it takes a lot to be the head coach. You understand what I'm saying? It's because
yeah,
you got to take all you've been there. You got to take
yes,
all the licks.
right,
So Jennings went on the job one day, right? When I told him who to come, when he finally decided he was gonna come, and we introduced him as the head coach or the coach. He's like, "Well, Perry, I'll come as long as you be the head coach." I said, "Okay, I'll do that, but I need you to come." So Jennings gets over there, and once he made the introduction, nobody knew him from a can of paint, and he started working with the kids, and they started loving him. Right? He was different. He would come from he brought a different. I knew my kids needed something different.
right,
We over there, you know what I'm saying? He came from a
yeah,
different, you got to bring in something different. We come across that look. We were going into something different, so I needed something different, somebody who
right.
knew it. But long story short, so how long was in there before they started sending you emails, Jenny? The coach, they
We
started trying to
started.
back.
Look, they backdoor. Period. They sending me emails. I ain't met their child. I don't know who they. I'm getting emails and texts. When they knew I was gonna be the office coordinator, I had parents texting me and emailing me and telling me, and I just told them, look, I said, everybody gonna get the proper look when we get there. I said,
They were
I don't,
jockeying for position.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they was like, well, if I get to it first, my son can do this, my son can do that. I said, well, I had people tell me this son could be a linebacker. I had people tell me this son could be a running back. They can do this, they can do that. I said, well, it don't matter to me. I ain't seen nobody. I don't know who they are. I ain't never seen them. And the first meeting we had was over at Buffalo Wild Wings, I think it was. And they got the chance to meet me. And I told myself, look, man, everybody gonna be evaluated on the talent that they got, and we're gonna go from there. I said, but I run the program a little different than most people. And when I got out there and started barking and yelling and doing the shit I do, it's like, oh shit, business about to pick up, you know, because they wasn't used to that. They wasn't. But I would tell you now, I ain't gonna let Perry get away because that damn Perry.
I told him, don't worry about the parents.
I said, look, we had parents out there saying this, saying this, saying this. Perry said, look, I don't worry, but I got it. I done seen Perry. Perry come up here complaining, raising hell about nothing. Perry told the girl, I said, look, I tell you what, you ain't happy. I don't want nobody to be in my program that ain't happy. Don't give her money back. Cut her check on the spot, then I asked him out of there. Her in the hug. He said, well, we don't want to go. He said, no, you ain't happy. I don't want you to be if you ain't happy. Gave her back the money, told her get the fuck on. Boy, that was some beautiful shit. Well, I ain't never seen no shit like that. I said, man, that's some cold shit. But I like that shit.
Hey, look here. Hey, boy, well, here's the moral of the story. I bring Janet over here, right? I become the damn villain. He getting all the gifts. Everybody love him. They buy him the gift. They want to hang me. Hey, hey, I bring him. They trying to kick me out. And he getting all the Christmas gifts. We love you, Coach Jennings. They trying to hang. Somebody got to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is crazy shit, man.
And we won the state champ. We won the state championship, right?
Yeah, we so did.
I said, I want him to run it, and I didn't want to be in his way. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna bring him over there, and then he wanted to come over there. He just wanted to coach, right?
Right.
And I didn't want to come over there and have to fight with them. You see what I'm saying? Right. I mean, my people, my parents were good people.
Yeah.
You know, they were good people, but I knew, you know how white folks can be. They still think they can do manipulative stuff. So, but
right. I thought you did a great job with your program under the circumstances and the diversity that you had to blend the talent together. It was always admired from afar. Thought you had a tough job because we played down there a couple of times, and it's different.
You got to run out the damn building too. Fucking with them damn referees.
y'all baskets, y'all goddamn members.
Yeah,
Boss is your boy. That's your boy.
Yeah.
Bonwell. That was Boston.
You know that time.
Hey, listen. Was Bonwell there when y'all finna beat Boston guys?
Oh, I was gonna whip his ass every week. I want to put it in them boots.
Oh, you talking about y'all when they was there and doing that registration? No, I went to San Antonio to visit, and then I was trying to get some more sponsors for the program. When I went down there, so I had one sponsor on the hook, and then was trying to get another one, right? And then that Saturday, man, they called me. I said, "Boy, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Dennis Jennings is a person he'll give you his last, he'll give you his all, his heart is big, but boy, once that joker get heated, well, it's hard to calm. He calm him down, boy. Oh my God,
what up in there?" I said, somebody forget that. I said, oh, Lord, I can't listen. I wasn't gonna take no butt up for nobody. I ain't listen. Bosky up in there, Cheryl, they about to run for their life, man. But you know, man, at the end of the day, I had to be man, and that's the gender to tell you. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And once I got the full story, you know, I had to walk away from it. I walked away from it.
You did,
I said, man. I can't do this, man. I can't wrong the babies. You know. Me and you, I just can't do kids wrong. I just had to walk away from him. Boss and my boy, me and him covered each other back in business as far as job, but I couldn't do it, man. I know some dirty dealing. Once I got the full story that went down and how they shitted on y'all, I said, man, I can't do this. Wasn't no business. He wasn't. It was good.
And it was crazy because you know, as men. And the determination to do something for the youth and the kids, you know, I thought that we did everything we could, even compromise. We got more teams, they got one team. Try and show them the way we been here another year, grinding, and it was a learning point for us as adults, I think, to show individuals or parents even more how much we really are dedicated to your kids and what we're willing to do. But you're right, man. Like sometimes you look at the head of the organizations, and it's crazy how I came from Virginia, Pop Warner, totally different atmosphere, totally different leadership. And it was totally different. Like I had never seen nothing like that before as far as dealing with Pop Warner. And when people started getting deeper, as you go deeper into it, you realize, man, it's really not. If you don't know and somebody tells you something, and then you go someplace else and see something different, then you're like, wow, they lied to me, man. We could have been doing
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
this
Oh,
to
they
help.
did, man.
And
Uh,
the sad part about it, man, a lot of things that let's just take for example, you building a program because you really feel like you can go to Florida. And
Shit.
you telling your kids, man, we playing so we can go to Florida. Where it's never going to happen
No.
because you're not set up for success. You can't wait till you about to go to Florida to start raising money to go to Florida. You should be fundraising, uh, fish fries, whatever. Doing whatever you need to do to bail your bread. So when you have an opportunity, you have the money to go. Because let's just be real. It's doing first 2 weeks of December. What are people doing in December? Trying to get ready for Christmas.
All a lie. All a lie.
You know, and they're gonna sing you down there because you got to go to Disney World and you got to stay on their property. And you're looking at if you got 30 people on the team at about $1,000 a head, that's about $30,000.
5,000. No. There's no way you can get it done. It's just man, that Cheryl. It was man, bro. My thing was once I finally got inside I could get in the inner workings. As far as how they had it set up, I couldn't really change anything about it. I just knew I couldn't. I couldn't be a part of it. I mean, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. We had teams that were struggling. We had teams like West Columbia didn't even have helmets. I mean, it was just teams that were struggling. And you take me to a conference, bro, and I'm standing in a suite in a corner lot, free of charge with everything. It just didn't sit well with me. I just couldn't believe it. But you sweating about ID cards. You see what I'm saying? A $5 ID card, and me and Cheryl went round and round because I let the kids play. I didn't care nothing about that bull crap. You're talking about don't let a kid play because he's 5 minutes late. Shit, I'm letting them play. They don't drive.
yeah.
They were mad with me. I'm letting them play. A child don't drive. If he's 5, 10 minutes late, he don't drive. I'm letting him play.
But you telling me you ain't gonna let the kid play. But you got all these other kids that have showed up, parents there, everybody there is ready to roll, ready to go.
16 players. I don't care. Take me. My thing used to be take one of your Tiny Mice or Mighty Mice, whoever it was, put them on the bench and make sure when somebody go down, they scan, they can see 16 in the same color. And keep it going. That's crazy,
man.
Yeah.
It was crazy how they ran it. And you go up there in North Carolina, and they broke every rule in the book. How you got to have ID cards around your lanyard, and they come up with a book, and they don't even check. Man, possibly that white man running him like he's stupid. Crowd of this, crowd of that, crowd of this, crowd of that. I said, y'all must be a fool.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, they were awful.
That was terrible.
And then when we tried to get them out of there, nobody wanted to stick with it. They went right back to that same stuff. But you know what, Bonwell? What they got? Four teams now.
Yep, that.
Wow.
I can't tell you that.
Well, when I pulled my team and I pulled that doggone, and I pulled my team out, went Virginia and took that doggone money with me, because see, the white folks over there, we used to write our check in the beginning of the year. We'd write a check for about $15,000 for kids, because we ran two teams, and I had a lawyer over there. So when we asked for our money back to my, no, we're gonna allocate our money to something else, because we'd write a check thinking we have so many, then we fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people drop out. They used to say, well, you don't get your money back, we'll just put it to something else. Shit, John Eggleston, a motherfucking cease and something over there. Shit, they were done with that, man. And he talking about, please come back. What can we do to get you back? Nah, we ain't coming back. Y'all full of that bullshit.
I just like Dawson. Dawson, where Polo Road right now. Dawson told me we stand out there at the playoffs up there in Camden. He said that's the worst mistake he ever made was let us leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Let us leave Polo Road. All because of some foolishness. Because he wanted to break that team up. He told me that. I said, yeah. He said, well, you went over there and coached with them, man. You could have came back and coached with me. I said, man, after you shitted on us, no. I said, you know what you're doing. Oh yeah, dude was coming. If you'd have came back and said you apologized, some shit like that, we could have worked something out. I said, no, you said y'all make it without us, and y'all have. But
Yeah,
we gonna do something else.
when y'all had the Vikings, and I don't even know if I should say this, y'all had the best. Y'all could have. Well, if they'd have left y'all alone, you had the county, which would have been in your. They wouldn't leave you alone. They wouldn't let y'all get to the county. They wouldn't let y'all get the flick because the county would have been in your favor. You had the county, you had the best field, you had the best facility, but that's why they didn't want y'all to beat it. That's why they wouldn't let well enough alone. If y'all would have went to the county around them, that's why they kept y'all out of there. That's why they kept trying to own Meadow Lakes.
Yeah.
You understand? You had the best facilities.
True.
You got the field, right?
Yeah.
You in the right neighborhood where you need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only black neighborhood they was in.
Yeah.
There was no other black neighborhood that was in. You need the neighborhood. The Meadow Lakes is the neighborhood you need to be in.
And believe it or not, Perry, you telling the truth, because even the way we practice, right? You know, everybody, and what was beautiful, everybody came out to that track to walk around the track, right?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Seen it.
That's what doing. But they stayed in motherfucking one call them ear and them saw every. I don't know. I know you left it by well, but every last one of them in that clique done got caught up from the daddy to the son. All that shit
All
they
of
were
that.
doing.
Yep. They all
Wow.
of that.
I mean, Coffin Road was in a good situation, but they didn't affect y'all because they on the opposite end of the county. But y'all had the best situation. Everybody had to fight for a field.
Yeah.
Your boy there, Trenton Road, he was going back and forth, but he didn't have a regulated football field size.
Right.
Y'all had the football field, y'all had everything, but sure them stayed in the middle of Meadow Lakes all the time, hoping y'all didn't have no trouble. They were just busy.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing, like you just said too, Perry, in that community, they embraced us, and they would come out to the games during the week when we had practice. And Jennings could tell you, they'll tell all the coaches, man, y'all doing a great job. God bless y'all and everything, man. It was beautiful. But like you
But
said, go ahead.
they just kept branding. I'm sorry, they just
Yeah.
kept branding. It kept so much turmoil between the parents and stuff that I mean I didn't find out this is later. I couldn't see it then, right?
Right.
Because they had bamboozled.
Right.
Because I was supposed to be in the commission over you. I'm like, well, damn, what's the fucking problem? You see what I'm saying? But they just kept it off. But sure, that sure was a slick one. Now I don't know if that's your or not. She was a slick.
No, we believe me, we didn't get along. We used to go at it all the time.
That was a slick one. But that's
Yeah.
the one that everything should have been revolved around it, and she understood that.
Yeah. And see, that's why to some point I know Jennings ain't gonna like this. This is why sometimes me, as much as I didn't like him, I respected him, but we would meet in the middle. Like sometimes Bostic would stand up. Like if you argue with him long enough, like, hey man, listen, bro, I don't care about none of that. This is all I care about. And you making this difficult when I'm helping you, bro. I'm helping you spread your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But,
and sometimes he, it was some key points where I said he stood up for us against Cheryl, right?
But
Go ahead.
remember when y'all girls that made it to the finals?
Yeah.
The motherfuckers didn't do shit to help y'all.
No, and that's and Perry.
But you went to that motherfucking community, put that shit out. They first of all, they didn't let you go. You know damn well in 2 weeks you can't raise that kind of bread, bro.
Hell no.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not just saying where I'm at. I think if they'd have been if we'd have had cheerleading, they could have wrote a check out there. But here's what I'm saying: you know damn well you couldn't have wrote that kind of bread. You didn't get the. If they'd have took the damn cap off, let y'all go to the community and and say, look, we got these black girls, we got our black babies going down here to this motherfucking league. Cheryl didn't want that because she couldn't control that because she couldn't be the mouthpiece for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense.
So but it was just so much, and I'm saying to myself, why? This is Meadow Lakes. Now Meadow Lakes, got, that neighborhood has been around a while.
Right.
But that was by design. They were afraid y'all might have won, bro. I'm just trying to.
We would have won.
I'm just trying to tell you. They was like, it was a lot of shit. I was like, boss, this shit don't even make sense, bro. And then the motherfucking league had money. Why they ain't give y'all none?
Well, they
And
should at
that was my
least
point.
give
And
me
that's
something.
what I used to tell Jennings them
Yep.
coming from Virginia. It was, yeah, you had to do your part. But the league, when you won the league, everybody was behind you.
That's
Hey,
what the
That's
and
what the
that,
money that you take up. Like when you had that bullshit ass training that we used to have, that everybody, all the coaches had to go to.
yeah, that
You had
they
to
that
go
was
to
that
that
money
shit.
cow. Listen,
yeah.
But
man.
that cash cow. But where did that money go to?
Listen,
Nobody knows.
listen. What's the man used to my you
You know, you had to pay $5.
ID.
Mhm.
You
If
gotta get
a
that
kid that's a
five
6-year-old, he's 5 pounds. You know he playing dynamite again, right?
Right.
Why the fuck he need a new ID the next year?
You don't.
Why
Good
do he
point.
he
Good point, Perry. Good point.
why do he need to get a new ID every year? Now it costs that man 8 cents to make an ID. He get out one of, of every ID. You got 1,000 kids come through there, chilies and all. That's $1,000 they make off the ID, and he making money. But my point, what I told Bostic was right.
My man Tim from the Yeoman, he brought an ID machine. He said, "I'll print everybody."
Every ID for free. I could print them for 60 just to save money on the association. They said, "Well, no." They wanted that black man, the white man, the black man, the dude to do it for my North Carolina.
You know how much money that would
That would save each person $5 every year. If they did, because it would have saved, even though they weren't all about money, they would have saved this money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that now. The only reason you would have to change his ID, he hasn't.
It looks as a change because if you go to the book, if you go to the book we were using, hell, you're using baby pictures. So we're not talking about him changing in looks. So why do he need a new ID?
You're right. You're right,
He ain't.
Perry.
Only time he would have needed a new ID if he had changed divisions.
Right.
Well, this my,
So about that money, that green cow. I told Boss that he was like, well, that's just the way we do it. Well, that ain't how North Carolina do it.
no, they ain't had no Carolina do it. And they always talked about how they
North Carolina book. You got a damn
handling North Carolina.
12-year-old. You got a 12-year-old. He got a 6-year-old picture in there.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, you know, you had the Bible. You know, you had to have the your what the book is called.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. You had to get
Your book. You know, you had that
Yeah.
book was your Bible. The Bible.
The team book, yeah.
The team book. But you put a team book in there of a junior midget, a pee-wee team, but he got a 6-year-old picture. So you telling me the ID gonna judge the picture?
Right. Oh, okay. But yeah, but they ain't on the thing, man. Look, and Bowman, you know this. I went to Boston and I told him, I said, we want to rent our own field. We're gonna pay for it out of our own pocket. All we want to do is charge $3 at the gate, try to retain the field because we want to play on nice fields. I ain't gonna let you do it. And I said, well, why would you not want to do that? Because the other associations don't have an opportunity to do that. I said, why they don't? They can't call Richland County. They can't call District 2 and do that.
But you do it.
But y'all,
Yeah.
y'all do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, so all right. Well, it is what it is, man. I said, hey, I'm trying to make it easy on y'all. Y'all don't want to make it easy because they ain't got no relationship with District 2.
You have no way. But like Bonwell said, this is your brand you spread. You put teams out there that you taxing the hell out these teams.
Every way you
And you ask for something.
and you have no way to generate funds.
No. The only thing you do if you get the home games, and you ain't get your schedule till the damn second week of the season anyway.
That's right.
That's right. And you get
You
shit on
shit
that.
on then, and hell, just like before, when we was Vikings, we went out there to Orange Field, raining like a sumbitch. When I said raining that morning, raining, I got out, he got soaking wet. Put all that shit on the truck, take that shit over to Orange Field, get to Orange Field, take the shit out of the field. Boss tell me, I say, hey man, I'm about to set up. Where can I set up at? He said, what you mean? I said, man, they said, we the home team. We got 3 games out here. Moving you ain't got but 1 game. So who the home field? We the home team, right? Well, who you gonna sell that stuff to? I said, I'm gonna sell it everybody. I'm gonna do that here for.
Oh shit.
I took all that shit back to the house.
Are you serious?
Boss told me, no, you ain't got it. Them motherfuckers stayed for 1 game and left. I said, you know what? That's when I knew I had to leave Pop Warner. How about the fuck boss it up, man? That was some bullshit.
The motherfuckers didn't boy that. I look at we put on a bowl game at Fairfield Central. And we had everybody in North Carolina come down there and play. Remember, it's 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So the next year we had all the teams in there. Next year they wouldn't grant us a bowl season. And you know why she said they wouldn't do it? Because we didn't want to have to compete with our bowl against y'all.
Wow.
That's what she said. Why wouldn't you get it? We had to, you got to get permission.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we turned it down because we didn't want to have to compete the same weekend with y'all.
Wow.
But it was crazy, man. But I just had to get them out of there. But yeah, man, I know we got off task and it just reminisce. But man, I don't know, bro. This shit got me heated, boy. Me and Boss still.
That's why I like to talk about it, because I know it sets. The shit was fucked up, and we know it was.
But we were hands with time. That's why I left. Jenny got me out of it. Left. I had to sell it. But Mr. Barnwell, you getting back into it, man, or where you at with
Yeah, I am Coach Perry. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so everybody talk about Texas football, right? You hear that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm out in El Paso, so we out here, right?
Are you in El Paso, Texas?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I am.
I'm coming to see you, man. My nephew lives out there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's the executive director for enterprise in El Paso.
Okay.
He's at that one in Albuquerque.
He goes 22.
Okay. All right. Then we gotta link up there, Mel. Glad
me and my other nephew plan on coming out there to visit.
Okay, cool. We gotta link up, man.
Man,
So,
he El Paso. Yeah, he went to college. He played college ball at UTEP.
huh? Oh yeah, UTEP. Yeah, that's everything. I hear the gold miners tipping.
Little minor.
Yeah. So out here, man, there's a lot of daddy ball. They cheat a lot, bruh. And then I'm gonna say it, and you would understand it more. So out here is predominantly Mexican. There's not a lot of black. It's blacks out here, but not like that. We the minority, real minority.
Right.
And when you coaching, it's one of the things you're dealing with the refs. And I could deal with that, Perry. It's just that the parents are not dedicated to bringing these kids to practice. They don't want to come to practice, but they want to show up on game day. And for me, I can't bend on that, man, because that's how kids get hurt. They don't know what they're doing. So I step back from it. I let it go, because that, and then I was coaching my daughter. My daughter played basketball, and I was coaching her. And then when she got in middle school, I said I was gonna stop coaching just to focus on her middle school and high school playing ball. And that's what I did, man. And I just out here, I'll tell you this what happened, coach. When I found myself in the position that I was ready to hurt somebody, man, I knew
Smart man.
I knew that, hey, that's not what you're here for. You need to step back, because everything about it was not set up for us, and then you're sitting here and you're trying to tell people the same thing. But man, I'm getting ready. My daughter's at the University of Houston, but I'm getting ready to get back into it. But I want to get back to it in South Carolina. I'm ready to come back to South Carolina.
Coach, let me ask you this. This is gonna be a little different perspective. What would it? So because if I think of Hispanic, I think of soccer, right? Because that's what we see here. What is that? Because that's gonna be the predominant there, right? That's gonna be 90% team, right? Am I right?
Right.
So what is the coaching like there? I mean, what is it like to coach that we're gonna be right here? What would that be like?
So if you came out here first, what happened, right? So they kind of went through was going through, and it's changed when I first started, when I first came. So you had the city, and then you had the city league, and then you just had it's another little league, the Southwest Football League, right? That you had teams in. So you competing against them too, and that was the thing, right? But you're gonna get a couple Pookies and Ray Rays, then you're gonna have a couple Mihos.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. These Mihos is tough now.
I'm not thinking as much
Yeah,
now. I'm
yeah,
gonna be
they
some nut
small,
dragons now.
right, and they tough. And the thing is, out here is they focus so much on winning, man, and you gotta the process, but they want to win, but they don't want to do the things to win. Like
Right.
I am telling you, Perry, you would be so disappointed. You got a team of 25 kids. If you practice Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because you play Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Monday you might get half of the kids show up. Wednesday you might have 10 kids show up, and then on Friday you might get 20 to show up. They ain't been to practice. All of them ain't been to practice Monday and Wednesday to put it all together and understand what you got going on. Then on Saturday, Perry, I promise you, you'll think it's a family reunion going on. They got everybody and their mama out there. And when
Hey,
you
so
when
They ain't been to damn practice
so
all week.
coach, you know, and I'm not pigeonholing them. I'm not
yeah,
pigeonholing Hispanic, but you know here, and it just goes down the line. When you see the Hispanic or the Mexicans or something like that, they on that roof, they working. They man,
yeah,
they're you know, they work. You know, they get it
right,
done. If I'm gonna get my roof done, I don't want to leak it on my head. I know they get it done. So the
yeah.
same work ethic is not the same in the sports field, or at
No,
least
no,
young.
no, sir. No, sir.
No, it's not.
It's not. And then the other thing was too, Perry, is like, okay, so I was coaching in an organization, and these guys were younger than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they admired my coaching, but when you try to give them advice, and
Mm-mm.
it wasn't nothing to change them, but I'm just like, listen, man, you can't if my line ain't blocking, bro, I can't run the spread, bro.
No.
And we would have coaches meetings, and I'm literally in there looking at them like, bro, if I put 9 guys on the line of scrimmage and I'm running a one back set. Well, the parents don't like. I said, man, I don't care what the parents don't like. It's beat when I got out there, they running the spread as soon as the ball snapped, the quarterback getting killed. I'm like, come on, bro, make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it
Exactly.
make sense.
So
Exactly.
That would
that's
be interesting,
interesting,
man.
man, to be in. That would I'm just picking your brain, bro, because
Yeah,
I don't know anything else. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
From the South,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you know what we did where we might have one plug in here and there. That would
yeah.
got to be a different,
Especially,
especially from the youth perspective. So
you know,
and, you know, we see them here and there. But my thing is that would be a total different
you and
when you
that
you parent
conversation.
conversation.
So,
So do you get when you think they disagreeing with you, go off into that whole nother language that can you tell?
Yeah, but I used to talk to the parents a lot, man. And I encourage them to come to practice, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing that happened, Perry, that helped me out. We went to Lubbock, Texas, right? Now, hold on, and let me clarify this so nobody misconstrues this. Central Texas to East Texas, that's what we know, right?
Right,
That's
right.
what you know in South Carolina. Now
Right.
that's
That's right.
real.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense. That makes
okay,
sense.
let me say I had to, and when you said that to me, I said, let me go back and clarify something. El Paso, West Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because it's El Paso. Because when you go up on that Panhandle, them boys play that football hard, foosball hard too.
Mm-hmm.
So soccer, baseball, right? And they trying to develop this football thing and push it. So we went to Lubbock. We played a team out of Dallas. They only had 17 players, Perry. And when
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, man, they look all just like us. And I'm telling you, they were some good, humble kids. They was very well mannered. The coaches was very good, young dudes. And man, when I tell you they went out there and we was playing and they was putting that what? I said, see, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Do you?
This is what I'm trying to get y'all at. And man, the parents were like, oh, they cheating. I said, nah, hold, stop. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. They not cheating. Them kids playing just like us. We and believe it or not, the first half we was playing bully ball with them. They were just sticking. Them boys was coming. It's like,
Well,
and they was
hey,
putting they were putting
you
their
thought
hips
you back
together.
in the South, man. You thought you back home,
Yeah.
man.
And man, and what I did, what me and the coaches did after we played, because it was a round robin tournament. What
Mm-hmm.
we did, I got all the kids together and explained and tell them, hey, this is where y'all at, this is where we at, and the kids got to talk. So now my kids is like, Coach, it's like that. I said, yeah, man. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all see this. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to. It don't matter. We were bigger than them. But boy, when I tell you them jokers, boy, them boys they was coming in that whole pen. Oh shit. Oh God. Man, I had a little tough fullback. And kid tough as nails. Man, that boy came to the sideline, Perry, about the second season. Like, Coach, man, I need a break. I don't know if I want to run the ball no more.
But y'all
But y'all
did.
did that.
Hey, Perry, I had to talk to him, man. I had to give some of that Coach Boone love. Hey, man, listen here. Put the ball in your stomach. Stay behind your pass, bro. They gonna get tired too. You gotta deliver the blow. Quit being afraid. I said, hey,
Right,
man,
right, right.
if you get in there and start, if you don't hit the hole hard, yeah, you're gonna feel it. And believe it or not, at the fourth quarter, man, we was driving on them, and Taco was just hitting that jump. Yeah, yeah. I said, that's what I'm talking about. We ended up losing 8-6, but the point to your point, like you said, man, and it is true. Those kids got to make friends for life, and they keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
But more off, they got a chance to see, and the parents have woke the parents up. I
Mm-hmm.
said, see, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You think this game is this is different. When
Yeah.
these the same boys they're gonna see in high school when they
On
start
college.
going for the districts and they start making the playoffs. And
Mm-hmm.
y'all have to get used to the speed of the game and the hunger of the game. And they coach talked about that. How these kids practice, they not the biggest, even in their division where they was at in Dallas, bro, they year after year, they sweep it. But them was some tough, man, they was laying that wood, Perry.
Good.
I know you
I know you
right
felt
back
back
then.
home, man.
Yeah, I did, man. I
Yeah,
did.
still that.
Feel that.
I did, and it felt good, man. But it was more of like what we do is teaching points, man. And I think that's where it's at. And believe it or not, I learned from this experience out here coaching to take back when I come back home or come back that way, come back home, is that some things you take for granted, and when you talk to these kids and you working with them, it could be a whole lot worse than what you think it is. Because we have challenges when we dealing with our Pookies and Ray Rays, right?
Mhm.
But those challenges uh become part of how they connect to us because some of these kids not eating and we get them something to eat, take them to get something to eat, and that means the world to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that
Yeah.
what brings me to my next point. When we dealing with our youth players,
Right.
and we know, and let's just be honest, all of us experience it. Uh, we have kids come to practice and they haven't eaten, they haven't,
Mm-hmm.
and we always tell them, eat something when you come to practice. And even in these neighborhoods where we think kids are in a better situation than most, that ain't always the case. So, my question to y'all too: how do we approach it when they come to us and we let them and we tell them, look, you got to eat something, man. You can't just come out here on an empty stomach thinking that you're gonna do. Because I'll tell you right now, and Perry and Barmer, and I learned it from you and Perry, I run the shit out of my kids at the beginning of practice because I want them to feel like it's game time. That way, when we go into Skelly and we go into team and we do all that stuff, it means something. So Saturday, hey, the game don't mean nothing to them because shit, they do it every day, so they don't care. And that's how we get our best out the kids on Saturday. How y'all feel about that?
I think it goes back to what Coach Barnwell said. You take the moms of America. I think that's the term you used. Didn't you use, Coach? The moms of
Yeah,
America.
yeah,
And you take. I think that's when you have to get them to flip that for you. They want to tell everything, but I think you have to. It's gonna be a little hard coming from the coach, but you gotta that team mom. It's so hard. I don't know how we know if the child's eating or not eating. I don't know. I don't know, Coach. I don't know how to. Take that team mom. I don't know if you have snacks every day. I know we used to try to have, you know, little Gatorade. That's only if you can, but it's not enough to feed them. I, my concern has always been after they've practiced, do they have something to eat when they got home? More so than when they're there, because you can get by. Almost get by while you're at practice. Just do you go home to a good meal? Has always been my issue.
Yeah.
But you get a good meal when you eat. And I used to gauge when we travel. You could tell how parents how they engage. Most parents what they gonna eat, how they gonna eat. That mom who's concerned what my kid gonna eat and what's they ask that question how they gonna eat. Are they packing sandwiches and stuff like that? I don't know. That's just man, that's just a tough area. I don't know if you go in assuming that they don't eat. I don't know if you can prepare a meal every time after practice. But some out there not eating. Coach, I don't know the answer to that.
I think you make a
Don't
good
let
point.
I can tell you this. Don't let certain areas fool. Don't let demographic and where you locate fool you.
Correct.
Because where I was at, there was a lot of kids that wasn't eating. Or was in situations that just based where we was at, and a lot of people was like, well, y'all got it made over there, and they're just I'll just say this, and y'all have too. I spent a lot of money, and I wouldn't do it any other way, and I'm glad I did. I brought a lot of food for a lot of homes. If you didn't know, you didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I can tell you this, period, and I know this for a fact. At one of the biggest high schools in the state of South Carolina, right here in the Columbia, at Green and Gold. I ain't gonna say the school. If I say Green and Gold here in the state of South Carolina in Columbia, y'all know who I'm talking about. How the head coach on social media begging somebody to feed his team. And this was a few years back. On Friday nights when they will play.
That's too late.
Now, my thing was this. Okay. Several schools around the area, they get the parents to pay like $10 a week. So to make sure, at least through the regular season, those kids get their stuff catered in there for game day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they on the road or whether they at home. How one of the biggest high schools in the state, they got as many kids as they had. They're supposed to be one of these powerhouses. Can't feed their kids. That's crazy.
I know where my son played. They had guidelines in place.
Correct.
They fed, they ate well. They had in there. If you played, you did X amount. You paid a fee for eating and all this here. When you travel, I think it was if they traveled, they had a return meal when they left. X amount. I wasn't privy to the. It was.
But I do know. I will tell you this. It wasn't left on the coaches.
Right.
That booster club.
Well, let me see. Nas was a good coach. It wasn't left up the coach. It was the parents. The kids gonna eat what they were gonna eat. When I said that, I mean
Parents got
involved.
Right.
The parents got there and say, okay, my kid here is the boost. The booster club said, okay, when our kids drive, and I'll give you a good example. Our kids played in Spartanburg every year. They playing back and forth. We got caught up there. They had their game day meal. They got up there and everything is timed out. And the coach wanted them to eat a certain time so that, I don't sit on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got there at that regular time. The game got postponed to about 9 o'clock, 9:30. Right. Well, their game meal is gone. Their time to get ready to come home. The parents say our kids ain't paying down till they eat. They went out there, ordered them food, and brought it in. The answer to your question is the parents has to be involved.
Yeah.
I don't know if the coach ain't getting the support or the athletic director ain't getting support or they're not allocating the money.
Well, what I can tell you
as a parent has to be involved and say, okay, look, my kid eats at 12 o'clock if he getting the lunch.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. A bunch of kids where the parents was in with this church. And when the kids graduated, church somehow, some way said, no, we can't support that anymore. And that's why he was on Facebook advertising, sponsoring, trying to get sponsor the kids, which I thought was crazy. But that's just me.
But I agree with Perry. How it's set up in high school, you got the head coach, right?
Correct.
The head coach sets the agenda and gives it to the boosters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which the boosters are compromised other parents. So it's the recruitment of the parents and the booster and what the booster is doing to push, because the head coach really is not over the booster, but he provides the booster club with the direction and the things that he need to be successful when it comes to the kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's a twofold part to that. Somewhere the coach, I would say this, the coach lacked direction of vision and didn't make that a priority to get with the booster club. And that booster club stuff starts especially for football, at the end of the school year, throughout the summer, because you start early.
Correct.
In South Carolina. So therefore those things gotta be in place, right?
Right.
And it just shows, and I still say it, I mean, you can delegate authority but not responsibility.
There you go.
The head coach is still responsible. Like Perry just said something, and it was real. Yeah.
Right.
Knox told them, hey, this is the schedule. Hey, this is what I like. This is what we want to do. And nutrition-wise, and this is what people got to really, really focus on. The booster's only going to do or get the meals that the coach allows them to have, right?
That's right.
So the coach is telling the boosters what are the nutritions that are needed from starches to meat to the type of drink that's going to be there, and how that backs up what we call backwards planning from the game time to eat time to eat time, game time, digestive time to eat time. So those kids could be at the optimum level, ready to play.
That's right. So what exactly what Coach Bond was saying is, we can feed them. We can bring them down there. If y'all got nothing to eat, we can bring them fried chicken.
Is that gonna be
prime time for them to eat and be off their stomach by the time with a greasy stomach at game time? Coach Barnwell it start with the coach. This is what they need to eat. Is it gonna be laying on their stomach at halftime? I'm gonna have them barfing in the middle of the field at game time. Exactly right, coach. It's not the parents don't know, because what we have at the young league, any parent in it, them parents do what they do. They'll bring them snacks now.
Yeah.
right?
And
These kids need their nutrition, so they bring them snacks now. Them
Parents,
moms will bring them snacks if they know.
Yeah. And that's got to be something that's worked out at the beginning of the season. So everybody understand, hey, when we doing things, we have enough kids on the team. Like if we had 25, 30 kids on the team, we know each parent, that way don't get hit every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They're responsible for bringing the oranges or whatever we eating at halftime and the drinks and the snacks at the end of the game.
I mean, I know you got something to talk that know. I hadn't run into too many. I know they probably know. It's just very few. I know moms and dads that just gonna let a child go hungry.
No.
Right.
Oh, that so and so didn't bring nothing this time, but she ain't gonna not feed that child. I just
Sure it happens.
you see what I'm saying, for whatever it's worth, but they've been trained just like the moms, the kids been trained at who got snack.
Right.
All right, Coach. Let's go ahead, Barnwell.
Right.
Yes,
No, I just want to say, and Jennings would tell you, Perry, like one of the things, and I agree with you, Perry. Sometimes it's hard to find out if the kid is eating before practice. We used to keep little granola bars and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you ask them what's wrong. But I'm on the lines like you. Okay, I can't control what happens before practice. 'Cause by the time you get there, you're running late, you're there, and we going. But after practice, I can't control that.
right.
And Perry, like you said, that's very important. And that be my focus on that part. And
Mm-hmm.
and your team mom is instrumental too, Perry. You said you hit the hammer on the nail with that one.
That
The
can
team mom can get more from parents than what we can, because it's still like this thing like, oh, I don't want you to judge me. And it's like, really, I ain't judging you, because it doesn't matter. It's about the kid. But
That's right.
adults have pride and ego. But if you
That's
talk to
right.
the teen mom, woman to woman, they go through different things, so they see it.
That's right.
Yeah.
As Coach Barnwell say, what you call them, Mom America? I need to use
Moms of America, man.
that. Bro, I'm gonna like, can you mind if I use that?
No, you can use
Yeah,
that, man.
we've been
I'm
using it for
gonna,
years.
I'm gonna need Moms of America. I'm gonna slap that on my boy. They think they know every goddamn. Look at they'll snitch on you, won't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to switch up the subject a little bit, man. Let's talk about youth coaches and youth coaches getting their just due when it comes to high school coaches. And let me elaborate a little bit. So many times, our youth players go to middle school, get through middle school, and get to high school, and our high school coaches will say how these kids don't know, they do this, they do that, and they act like when they show up, they take them and they make them the greatest players in the world. But the youth coaches are the one that actually instill that discipline in them, how they do what they do, what they do what they do, and how they get there. What's y'all thoughts on it?
Well, I think in some of these regions, some of these high schools, if your coaches ain't even allowing these young players to even get on the field, to participate in some of the activities even before they get there, they're not gonna give you just due anyway. I mean, and I hate to keep talking about Dutch Fork. I can talk about Irma a little bit. I can at least say that they will allow the younger guys to come out and participate with them. So I think they do appreciate the youth coaches, because they do allow the youth to engage in some of their activities, if that makes any sense. But when you have schools that won't even allow the youth coaches to come out, use their facilities, be on there, they want to holler about insurance and all that stuff, about being on their campuses and stuff like that. I don't think it don't matter what you do, they're not gonna give you that prop. They give you your just due.
Well, here one thing I found out, and if I'm wrong, y'all correct, that a lot of times the youth insurance that we get is better than some of the high school insurance that people get. Because we got $1 million of insurance on folks. And they'll tell us, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't play over here. You can't do this because of whatever. Now, I have a major problem with that because I was like, look, all these kids in this community is coming to one of these high schools in this area. Why are these kids and parents paying tax dollars for these fields, whether they remodel? I mean, Richard Northeast got one of the best playing surfaces now. One where you be proud of, but nice.
Yeah.
AstroTurf, field house, nice stuff. You'd never thought they'd have put that over there. But they got their own home field now. Spring Valley, Ridgeview, all these teams, Westwood, all of them got their own facilities. And then I ain't even gonna talk about the middle schools. You got so many middle schools around here that could host, that could use the players, these kids, youth kids can use to be able to use the fields, do what they need to do, and then they go to the next level. It's crazy that, and then I go back to what we was talking about with Pop One and all that stuff. Email you, even Skype. You're not able to use these extra fields. Now, one thing I can say about Skype that I like, they deal with the high schools, but they don't deal with the high schools. They let the organizations deal with the high schools, and they work. So we played on turf majority of the time. Now, when we went out of town, we didn't play on turf. We played on whatever. But when we was home, we played at Richard Northeast. That was worked out. We went on the road. A lot of times we played on. This year we did, but this is our first year in Skype. So we'll see how this year we got a team. I'll be coaching continue this year coming up. So we'll see how this goes this year. But like I said, man, to me, it's a slap in the face. And I'll tell you why. Because you have all these kids right here in the city of Columbia. Why are we going past fields to play on bullshit fields?
Well, I'm going to say something that I learned, Coach Jennings. Two things. When people bring up insurance, you said the question about the just do from the high school coaches as far as Little League coaches. Our job as Little League coaches is to teach these kids the fundamentals of the game, how to block, tackle, terminology, understand the game. When they get is layers. So when they get to high school, as long as these kids know the basics, then you're going to teach them more techniques
Yeah.
towards your scheme because everybody got a scheme, right?
Yeah.
So if I teach these, if my linebackers, I'll take Coach Perry, his son played linebacker. As long as when he got the Coach Knox, he understood the position, the fundamentals, how to break down, how to get sideline to sideline, how to fill the holes, which holes is what, which gap is what. That's as youth coaches what our job is. When you get there to high school, then it's layered. So I take it, and me and Jennings went through this at Spring Valley. I had a coach tell me the only reason why he didn't make me the freshman coach is because he wanted to make sure I know when the punt and when not the punt. I'm like, are you? And that was a slap in the face to me, man. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm out coaching your coach who was a head coach
Who ain't want to be the head coach? You
who
made it.
didn't. And literally, me and Jennings are out there, and this dude is listening to us every step of the way, how to call plays, how to switch up the defense, who goes in and who goes out. So I take it as like the three coaches that's on here right now. I believe all of us could go to any high school right now and take a team that was subpar and elevate them to that next level with the buy-in because we understand from the tiniest till they got the peewee to push them forward when they went to middle school and high school.
Right.
A lot of high school coaches don't have that ability to connect with kids to break the game down to get them to understand it at the lowest term. Because not even in high school, now everybody learn at the same speed from the neck up. But unequivocally, without a doubt, I know Coach Perry can do it. I know Coach Jennings can do it. Do I think some of these other coaches that's on these high-power staffs can do it? No, I don't. I don't think they do a good job of reaching these kids. And then it's about how much, and and Coach Perry can attest to this, how much you want your program to grow from your feeder programs is how you assess how much that coach is devoted into that community and reaching down to the youth. Because I'm gonna tell you something about youth football I found out. And I studied this and I had to call and ask questions. And Coach Jennings made a point. Youth football insurance is way better than high school insurance. And I'm gonna tell you why. And this is why I kick back at coaches. Bro, don't tell me about insurance because the insurance is not relegated to the field. The insurance is relegated to the kid because each of those kids got home games and away games, right? Even in youth
Correct.
sports.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you're at. That's
Insurance
what
transfers.
covers it, right? It
Yeah.
just look like I'll take for instance, Keon, one of our kids that got hurt down in Kaufman Road. The
Mhm.
insurance wasn't limited to saying he could only. It was at practice at the church in Columbia at the church, and this certain field that's our home field. It doesn't say that. It covers the kid.
Mhm.
And more off, it covers the kid from the time they walk on that field to the time they get home. And that's something that we miss. So when coaches tell me that, you just telling me you don't really want to support this program and you don't understand that is this feeder program from the youth that feeds your program all the way up. And you should take an interest in that where you want your kid to say, hey, I want to go to what Coach Knox coach at where? And there's a
Oh no problem.
uh I want to go to
Dutch Fort.
Dutch Fork. I want to go to Dutch Fork. From the time they come out the womb to the time they get there, that should be a kid's dream. I want to go to Dutch Fork. And right now, even I'm out here in El Paso, I keep up with all the South Carolina sports. That's what he has there. Everybody want to go there. Now Irmo is starting to come. It's
Mm-hmm.
coming, but the coach at Irmo is part of his coaching tree.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So when you look at it, here's the culture. We changed the culture in this one specific area,
That's right.
and this is where
And
we headed.
and the only other man in this area to beat him is off his coaching tree, which the guy White know.
Yeah, true. I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man. It's you're absolutely right with that. It's crazy, man. These you will give you do and appreciate it. Now, that's one thing Nas do. He he brings it in. He loves it. He gives you free. What he when them people come over on his field,
I don't know nothing about it.
just do what you want to do.
And that's the thing that I love. Don't never met the man a day in my life, but from afar as a coach, man, is a blueprint. He lays out the blueprint and shows you right there how this should go, right? And how you become successful. Uh, and a lot of people hate on him, but I look at it, man. I applaud him, man. Hey, it ain't my job to beat me. It's your job to beat me,
Beat me.
right?
That's
And
right.
it's your job to coach your kids up. Ain't my job, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I admire the gentleman from afar. You dealt with him up and close and personal. Over the years, I just watched him grow and come in and just do his thing and more like to me and I'm not calling him this guy, but it's Sabanist. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
cats,
it is. It is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
For the high school level, it is.
yeah.
Well, it's almost getting to a point where somebody, somewhere, some way, going to slow him down, boy.
And they
And
call
they come up, but they should have. It's his son gonna be something. But they told him. He told him you got to catch me.
gotta
You
kill
got.
him in November.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
oh, well, you off? I'm changing subject.
I'm
Going well. Hey, coach,
Uh-huh.
you off on weekends, bro?
Yeah. Mostly.
Okay.
okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna say something. I'm supposed to go out there. My nephew just had a
My
my,
nephew had a baby.
senorita, his girl. I'm just say senorita out there. I'm supposed to go. I ain't seen my niece yet, so I'm about to get out there, man. Me and my other nephew, we just gonna come out there for one weekend. I definitely have to look you up, man. Cause
Okay.
brother told me he's in
My
my
daughter actually a travel, right?
church,
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she's in Albuquerque. Where his
Okay.
office
right? So
works
he
for
went to Albuquerque from Monday to Friday and come home on the weekend. Them two live together. It's they cousins. My
Yeah.
niece
my daughter, my
and
nephew
my live
together
together in Albuquerque
to
because she a
travel.
years, and he actually in El Paso, but
Main
his
office,
is in Albuquerque. They're 3 hours away. They got
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
primary place.
The place is in El Paso.
Yeah.
But me, and my other nephew, supposed to come out there and just visit because we hadn't seen his he just had a baby in uh don't let me lie, October, and I ain't seen my niece yet. So man, when I
Okay.
Get out
get out
there.
there, I'm gonna definitely look you up, man.
Oh,
And
please do, man. We go out
yeah,
of town
shit,
for
make it
you.
more the merrier. They've been
Every
trying to get me to come out there and you by yourself, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't nobody in
No,
the room.
hey, Perry, I'm
Dolo
single,
Dolo.
man. It's just me,
Oh no,
man.
bro, I just think
Oh,
I'm
he's Dolo Dolo.
solo.
Yeah.
listen. They say, hey, look here. My my nephew ain't my nephew who got the daughter.
Yeah.
This daughter out there. He ain't like his uncle, but the other nephew come with me. He
Yeah.
he like me and you.
Okay. All right.
You know, if
All
you know what I
right.
mean.
You said that
Yeah.
dog's gonna hunt.
Yeah. He ain't hunting. He know where to put it on at though. So we got to get together out there, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look,
No,
man.
no problem, man. I got you. I
I,
got you. I promise you. Just let me
well,
know when you coming, man. I have everything laid out, bro.
Oh man, we just get to see you, man. I try to get this joke here, man. This joke, man. Tell the joke get on a plane, man.
I get on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man,
look, man.
bro, the flight. I already look at the flight. The flight ain't about $250.
Well, that's cool. But look, man.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the show. Uh, now let's talk about this. Now, since we didn't talk about high school, we didn't talk about everything. We didn't talk about youth. Let's talk about NIL. How's that changing the game for the young men that's going to college now, and how the competitive is being competitive now because you got a lot of the transfer portal is live is in color. Kids that used to stay at a school for 4 or 5 years because they know they can go pro, they're not staying no more. They're going to get their paid. How do y'all feel about that? Go ahead, Coach Barnwell. I know you chopping at the bit to talk about it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, I love NIL. And I'll tell you why. Uh, and as a prime example, a coach recruit a kid to come to his college. Okay. He has a great year. Now he gets a chance. He's Division 1, Division 1A. Now a Division 1 school want him. He gets to leave. Now this kid came to this college based on this coach and this coaching staff. And for those, and Perry, you can ask your son this, and I try and enlighten parents this about kids playing college ball. Yeah, now if the head coach, if you his guy, I'm talking about you his guy. You don't have to worry about nothing. But your daddy in college is your position coach. So your position coach is the one who says, here's the pecking order, who's playing, and that's how it goes. So for these kids, when they leave, man, when these coaches leave, I think they deserve that. I think it
Mm-hmm.
makes the coaches coach up. I think it locks the coaches in. And if not, the play ain't got to be locked in. You know, everybody say, here's your pros and your cons because the kids don't want to do this. Well, the culture has changed, man. If I would say when I came out of high school, I think I was physically and mentally prepared. Skill wise, it still was a learning curve. You got these kids coming out of high school now because you got 7-on-7. They play football year round. That's what they do. So I think skill level wise, they light years ahead of us where we was at when we came out of high school, man, going into college. So I do believe that the NIL is great because it levels out the competition. Where I don't have a four stars sitting on the 1 star and 3 on the bench, right? Which you do
Right.
need a backup and you do want to develop. Cool, but if a kid know, hey man, why am I sitting the bench and wasting all my years of eligibility? Because I tell anybody, the best way you're gonna learn, not sitting on the bench, bro, you gotta get in there and play. Because
Yeah.
you gotta learn, you gotta make your mistakes, you gotta take what you're being taught, put it into motion, not just in practice, because practice speed ain't the same as game speed. And I just think that it gives the kid an opportunity, and I'll use the kid, the lineman that was with Buffalo that was playing with the Rams. He went to Buffalo, transferred from Buffalo to Florida State. Defensive end for the Rams that was doing all the fits inside the thing. That's a perfect example how this tree works. It's steady progression, and I get to the pros and look what I do, right? So for me, I'm all in with the NIL, man. I don't have nothing against it, man, because these kids, and I'll tell anybody, I admire football student athlete because that's not school, that's work.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure Miss Coach Perry can tell you, his sons can tell you that how his schedule is in this modern age, how his schedule is when it comes to football. And make no mistakes about it, they'll tell you, yeah, football got you here to get your education, but your job is to play football so you can continue to have your education. Coach, I defer.
Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning. I love NIL. I mean, let's think about the money that's being thrown around. That's just a fraction of what's been thrown around for years. I mean, they throwing around money like it ain't nothing, and you ain't even scratching the surface of what they paying these kids. I mean, the jerseys, the money that these schools been making, they're not even frowning at it. But yeah, I love NIL. You get the coach that come sit down in your living room. He tell you everything, like you say, that's the dad he gonna do for your kid, and this and that, and that, and this and that. And you sign. You sign February, the first Wednesday in February. The next week he leaves and he signs with another school. But that's all he knows. He knows that guy that came and seen him for the last 2 years.
You know,
You know,
it's
came apart with my son. My committed one day to one coach, and he was fired the next day.
Wow.
Now we back on the hook. We now, the guy that he's been working with the last few years, now he's got to build another relationship. Coaches come back calling, but the NIL is there. It makes it fair. If it's fair, coaches should be fair for the players. Get my worth. Some guys come out of there, and I get this for my son. They banged up, they beat up, they don't even make it to the next level. But you done took a beating.
Yeah.
Body's done. Some of these young men, and a lot of people don't know this now. A lot of people just don't know this. Do you realize when you get hurt in college, you know who they file insurance to first? And my son had a hip corner against Tennessee State. I ain't know he was hurt. Did a travel day. He was like, Dad, I may not be traveling this day. Right?
Right.
They got there's a travel day. They make that list that travel day. Well, he ended up traveling, but it's a hip corner, so they sent him to outside doctor. Come back and I see, you get that benefit statement in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, damn, who this for? Charleston, he outside the network. Well, you get charged with the medical first, and then they pick up. People don't realize it's in college now.
That's a true statement. I
That's a
left
true
it out
statement.
there.
So this thing is not. I mean, granted that they paying for the school. The school ain't free and all, but the medical first go against you.
Yeah.
So if your child get hurt in school and he keep getting banger, so yeah, I agree with you. I think you should get every dime that comes to them. Yeah, they give my son a little stipend. Should he get more as he worth? Maybe, maybe not. Am I do it? It does. Is a full ride a full ride? Yeah, full ride is a full ride. But you have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And you know the old thing used to be, well, he getting a free education. Yeah, but shit, he working for it. My son up 4:30 every morning,
Yep.
and you got to get your grades.
Yep. And they don't tell you, and Perry, not to cut you off,
Oh
but
no!
all those meetings you got to go to
Oh,
in
me.
between your classes and stuff like
Yes.
that, and you miss. I remember one day, man, I did it. This is no lie, Perry. And this when I realized, and I was at Savannah State.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was late because I was getting some tutoring to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Man, coach said, "Hey, look here, son. Let me talk to you. Yeah, you late." Yes, sir. I was in class getting some tutoring. He said, "Hey, you do that on your time, not my time.
Yes, sir.
I'm paying
Yes,
for
sir.
that. Hey, you better come in here and get with these tutors and tell these tutors and here." And that's why it's critical to me. Like Coach Perry just said, when you get into that system, man, it is, and it's crazy because they come in your living room and sell you a dream.
Yes.
But
Yes,
brother,
sir.
when you get down there, man, you gotta, your mind gotta be made up. This is what you want to do, because that is, it's still fun, but it's not football like we know it. It's a business.
Mm. It's a business.
And
It's a business.
you're a business, you're a valuable employee. I
Mm-hmm.
gave you a full ride to come to school. I'm
But you
paying
gonna
you, son. Hey, so this is your job. And then what they don't tell you is that, bro, year to year, your scholarship get renewed.
you have that exit interview. You got an exit
Yeah,
interview. It ain't
yeah.
guaranteed.
And
It's an
they
exit interview.
guarantee when they tell you, man, and it's so written, so beautiful, but it's some fine print in there that say about this year to year, this year
Yes,
to
sir.
year you gotta earn.
Hey,
Man, and
coach,
it's
coach,
crazy.
coach.
Coach Baldwin, I
My
remember a time when
son went
right
right
after
from a car, and I'm just concerned about him because I know he's dealing with people that's older.
and I knew he'd been through something similar to Dash 4 because I knew he was
He was a young fella, and he moved up into a starting position with some older guys, and you just worry about how to treat him. And I just worry about how just his mental state, because you're dealing with dogs from different areas. Some things mean different things to different people, right? But I knew
Right.
he up in a program that he had to work for everything he got. I knew mentally, I knew physically and mentally he could work for. You gonna have to take it from him,
Yeah.
right? But being in that locker room when the coaches ain't looking, there's
Yeah.
dogs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's jokers from areas that he ain't never seen. He come
Yeah.
from first school. You talking about joker just straight that he had never dealt with. It's type stuff, right? So, and I remember him calling home, and my wife sitting there, and she worried one call. He called home. He said, "Daddy,
this ain't
this ain't for everybody, but I'm good."
Yeah.
'Cause
Amen.
he said, "This ain't for everybody, but I'm good."
and this is
Small D1. He said, "This ain't for everybody, but I'm good."
and then
And he wouldn't hear from him. He wouldn't, he wouldn't calling. You know what I'm saying? He did.
Yeah.
My wife on there, telling me, it ain't right now. Just ride down. I said, no, I'm not going down there. And so we got to this fall when they went to summer camp and stuff like that. I said, well, man, I'm talking to him. I ain't want to sweat him. I said, boy, you getting in the reps where you at? Oh, he kept telling me. He said, well, I'm number 4 on the depth chart. But he coming in as a freshman. So I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Red shirt ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? You need that year. I think you need that year because my son was undersized. And my son's always been a humble kid. He never talked. He didn't say much. So first game, I said, well, he just didn't say much. I said, well, hell, are you dressing? He's like, yeah, I'm dressing. I'm dressing. So we get there the game, and he talk a little bit. He really didn't say much, and I just know him for 4 years. He never ever really said anything. And I went to the summer workout and stuff, and I see him rotate in, and I hear some of the calls, but I didn't know how that, I didn't know how that worked. But I knew he was a freshman. So it went 3 plays into the game, and I heard this call that I heard in the workout, and it said that call was cheetah. And I didn't even expect him to play because he ain't say he would play. Shit, it was the 3rd play in the game on defense. Hell, he was in. They ain't come back out. So, goddamn,
Wow. That's a
this nigga
blessing.
older too.
Man.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah,
boy, after the game, I was like, boy, you ain't telling me. He's like, well, no, daddy, I just, he just humble. He said, I didn't want to be overconfident, and he ain't looked back since. But it's like you say, man, and his thing was, he said, Daddy, you got to stay healthy in this game. And in high school, he knew if he had a bump or bruise, or he could go sit in the locker room and heal. He knew game day Friday, he won't have his spot back. You see, understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
And college, you bump and bruise, you don't even make the travel team.
yeah. You're right,
You
and
know
that's
what I'm
and
saying?
and you're right, Perry, and that's how I end up even playing as a redshirt freshman because I redshirted my first year too. Uh, I'm on the sideline BSing, man. I'm being honest with you. And dude got hurt, and man, coach been there to call a timeout. Man, he ripped me a new one, but I was ready to play because from the neck up, I had it
Right.
right. And it's like you said, staying healthy, uh, and understanding. And I guess the most beautiful thing, like you say, your son is humble, is just a testament from the neck up that he got it, man. That he got it. And a lot of kids be stars in high school, but can't. When you get to college, bro, the
Yeah.
physical part, everybody physical. Everybody a
Yeah, that
specimen.
feels
But from the neck up,
good.
you gotta
You
have
got
it.
to be, you
You
got it,
got
yeah.
because you
And
got, like you just said, them calls. You gotta know the calls. You
calls,
gotta be able to adjust. If
just
that call and a formation comes up, that call, somebody the dude is calling the signals, he gotta know, hey, tap, tap, tap. Now, and they got
that's
their little
right.
X calls so they can pan out because the
Mhm.
call was for a certain formation. When they switch formations on you, now you got to be able to adjust. What's the key that we had that we adjust? How do we adjust out of this or
Yeah,
get back to something else that we need to get into? So
yeah.
it is, man.
But but like you said, getting back to NIL, these guys, I understand what they're saying. That I mean, but these guys are that NIL, they're working for it, man.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, some more, some less, some getting bigger deals. You getting up I mean, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, off season, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like you say, they meeting on meetings. They meeting while they meeting on the meeting. They got a meeting on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to you getting up 4 o'clock in the morning and you ain't getting to bed at 9 o'clock and you back up for. I mean, it's a full-time job.
Yeah. And then you sacrifice,
Not just
especially from the spring, from the summer to the end of football season, your social to be great, to be on that field,
yeah. There
your
you go.
social
If you want to
presence.
play, now it'd
Yeah.
be a little different if you ain't trying
You
to
know.
play. If
Yeah.
you trying to play, if you want to be on that field and you
Yeah.
trying to play, but
Yeah.
Coach Barnwell, I think a lot of people don't realize that that exit interview is from year to year. People think,
Yeah.
well, I got a full ride, bro. You got to keep they getting you up out of there.
Yeah. Because every year they bring in new recruits, man. And if you ain't
You
Yeah.
did
got to
what you're
humble.
supposed to do during the year,
You're gonna find
bro,
somebody that will.
And
yeah,
if you look at some of these, that's just like when this damn portal come open, they getting you out of there. They
yeah,
spending that money, and the NIL shit is long overdue, man. They making money
yeah,
off the backs of these kids, and they're getting hurt because you're damaged goods, bro. You come out there with a serious injury,
yeah,
you're done.
yeah, yeah,
They're making way more money off the backs of you than we know it, man.
yeah,
And the money that they're turning around, they talking about paying 700,000 here, 800,000 there. I'm talking these big market guys and stuff like this here. And the money ain't even they scratching the surface.
Well, think about it too, man. Just to let y'all know we got about 9 minutes left in this call.
okay,
Uh, it just to me, I love the NIL and I like it because I hated to see for years and years and years across the United States, you had stadiums filled with fans and everything, and these kids playing college football. And if you bought one of the boosters bought them a damn pizza, they'd be ready to find them. And they using their likeness, they using their jersey numbers, they using all their stuff. And that was crazy. and it shouldn't have been. So, I mean, I applaud. I'm glad they went to it. And Barnway, you know, like I know, hell, like you said, that head coach with a B team, he was against paying player, but that's what it was. So, unfortunately, fortunately, they done bypass that, and everything's good now. So these kids able to get paid, and they should be able to. So they don't have to stay on the roster for 2, 3, 4 years and not get no playing time and had to wait on and they stay on the team. And I know why they stay on the team because they think they're gonna get a NFL deal, which I understand. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to go and play where you want to play and get your money now and get paid. Kel, and it's NCAA been getting paid for years. They don't stole from these players. I'm gonna say it. They stole from these players because for years they've been billing, they've been taking money, and we're just talking about. They just say ticket prices. They don't even talk about paraphernalia they've been selling, all that stuff they're playing, all that stuff they've been doing, and then they sit around and say, "Hey, well, we gave you a free education." Well, education don't mean shit if you got the education and you ain't got a job. Because for a lot of people, like you say, ain't but 1% gonna make the damn NFL. So
Yeah.
you make the NFL, but if you don't make it, what you gonna do then?
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it.
True.
But
True.
coach, but hey man, I appreciate you getting on the call, man. Was able to reminisce a little bit, man. We talked 2 hours and it ain't damn, and we could talk another 2 hours if we wanted to.
You're right.
But with respect to our audience.
Yeah.
We gotta say something for the next show.
Amen. Amen. True. True. I thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it. It's a great platform. Thought the questions was very, very, very up to date and relevant to what's going on in the football community today. And I appreciate you, Coach Jennings, brother
Hey,
from
man.
another mama.
Hey man, appreciate you, brother. You brought me into this shit now. Remember, you coached me
Yeah.
into this, and we've been working together for years, man. And just a beautiful thing, man. And I wanted this really my first show. We did a trial probably about a week or two ago, but this is really the first show. But man, I appreciate you getting on, man, and embracing it and answering the questions and shit and all that good shit, man.
Oh man, I'm here for the long haul, man. I think this
So
podcast is awesome. It's gonna blow up. And I just
hey,
want to say we started together, and my dream is to get the team back together and go win a state title somewhere, man.
I know
Somewhere.
we're gonna get a ring somewhere. I don't know where
Yeah,
it is. We're gonna get
yeah,
something.
yeah. We're gonna get something.
We're gonna get something, man, because I think this is just something I want to do, man. And by the way, I bought all this damn equipment, so I better do something with it because my wife cussing me out about it. So you don't need to have all this shit around and ain't gonna use it. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But look, man, appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
Love
We'll
you
get
too,
together
bro.
on the next one, man.
Okay.
For everybody that's listening, man, we appreciate you, man, and keep supporting the show. Go down and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the next show. And that's all we got for today. Coach, be well. Have a good one, man.
You too, Coach Jennings.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.